So when I was coming up, my grandmother used to have this thing where when she got serious, she would say, "Alright now, I laugh and I joke, but I do not play." When she said that, that was like a warning. You know what I'm saying? That was like a warning. So, but I said that interesting thing because while I do laugh and while I do joke, when it comes to being in the North Node or following the Northern Knowledge, in terms of mission and life purpose, I laugh and I joke, but I do not play. Okay, so I have a couple of interesting perspectives as it pertains to this interesting time we are in and how to deviate from being in other individuals' frequency and looking at things from a multiple this Mercury retrograde, bro, a multiple dimensional perspective. Get it out. Okay, so there's a biblical aspect that says, "In my Father's house are many mansions." Okay, now when we think about the word fathers, we're thinking about the word forefathers as in individuals who had to have been here for you to be here. And in the perspective of mansions is the derivative of houses. Mansions, houses in the perspective of chakra systems and chakra systems pertaining to frequencies. In my Father's house are many mansions. Now the many mansions of the Father's house is pertaining to the houses the chakra systems, that houses the frequencies within all 7 of the chakra systems, right? So in another perspective, there says, "Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all else will be added unto you." Heaven is the derivative of head. Heaven, head. Now, head meaning multiple terms, as in head of household, head of company, head of state, head of establishment, meaning the top, the head, the top, the highest. Okay. Seek. The derivative of gravitate towards. Now, when we think about the word seek and we think about the idea that an individual is seeking, gravitating towards, pertaining to seek first the kingdom of heaven, the head, remember, the head, the top, the highest. To seek first the kingdom of heaven being the head, to seek first, to gravitate toward the top, the highest form of awareness and knowledge of all as it pertains to an individual. Now, let's focus on the word added, additional, additional, is an implication of multiplication itself. Multiplication in the perspective of multiply in multiples, multiply, because you cannot add without the perspective of multiplication. Without multiplication, there is no addition, add, addition, multiplication, multiply. Okay, so to multiply what is in the head, which is the top, the highest, to multiply, to seek, to gravitate towards what is going in the top, the head, the highest, to add as it pertains to addition, add, to multiply the perspective of awareness in the head, to seek, to gravitate towards multiplying the addition of the highest perspective of awareness, which resides in the head, is to gravitate towards all things that is a perspective of gravitational pull towards what is the highest perspective, what is the highest awareness, what is the highest in this. knowledge that can pull me in a higher plane of existence as it pertains to information. Because remember, we are in an informational sector. We are in an informational era, the golden age informational era. Now, there are so many things taking place within the lives of individuals. I've been hearing about the shootings. I've been hearing about all this stuff, and everybody in here are the very same things. We are all in this same dimensional plane, functioning as a multiple of the body of individuals in terms of frequency. So one individual can be experiencing situations and circumstances that is so similar, because this is a form of a simulation, but that are so similar to another individual's, because that is the frequency and or the alignment. Now, to seek to gravitate towards higher head, higher knowledge, top wisdom, knowledge, awareness, which is to seek first that level, the kingdom, and all other things will be added unto you. That is seeking first the awareness of self, seeking first the awareness of whatever you consider to be your most high head, the top, was going to add, addition, multiply in multiples of whatever it is that you seek in this time. So I noticed that my seeking was the gravitation towards gratitude, to seek first the kingdom, the head of gratitude, the highest form of awareness of gratitude, which added the level of appreciation for all things that were additional, that were a multiplication of the amplification of being grateful in that specific state, in that specific space, right? Gratitude is my perspective. Another individual's perspective may be knowledge. Another individual's perspective may be wisdom and awareness of the Most High. Another individual's perspective may be knowledge and awareness of self, thyself. Another individual's perspective may be knowledge and awareness of building and gaining wealth. Seek first the kingdom of the wisdom, the gravitational pull between, what is the highest level, the top level of awareness, and all things pertaining to what is the highest will be added unto you. See, so I noticed that there are two perspectives as it pertains to awareness and how to visualize all that we seek. In mathematics, there are two specific perspectives as it pertains to lines, right? We have the idealism of the parallel, which is two individual lines that look something like this. Now remember, a line is a continuum. It does not end. It is continuum as in numbers. Numbers do not end. It is a continuum, a continuation, right? As is energy. Energy is simply a continuum. It does not die. It does not discontinue. It is only transferred, transmuted, transverse between one individual plane to another. So the parallel perspective is linear, two lines, linear, flat, linear, flat. It is a plane. It is straight. It is a perspective that is laid straight. It is to see one way only, one way only, as in terms of linear and or dialogue and or parallel planes. There is no way to transverse that dimensional figure, right? But then there is a perspective of perpendicular. Now, perpendicular is an interesting linear equation, because perpendicular lines look something like this, right? Where in between these lines there is a perspective of obtuse, and there's a perspective of acute. Now, obtuse and acute means that an individual has a wider dimension of looking between the lines of situations. Obtuse, a wider dimension of looking at situations in between the lines, peeping in between the lines of situations, meaning there is a 70-degree obtuse perspective, and then there is an acute perspective, which is a 30-degree idealism as it pertains to a situation. Now, the verses of the parallel and the perpendicular is that there is only an individual space of how I can seek the kingdom of awareness and the gravitational pull of knowledge and higher self and higher wisdom and higher the most high, and higher finances, higher whatever, in a parallel plane. There is only a small dimension of space that an individual can visualize, utilize as a perspective, versus perpendicular, where an individual has the obtuse visionary idealism in seeking first that kingdom of awareness of higher knowledge, higher mind, higher self, higher wisdom, higher information, higher finances, higher, right? And the acute is to see things that is the abstract of what is obtuse. So it is sort of like the left brain and the right brain, the logic perspective and the emotional perspective, the obtuse and the acute, right? To me, the intuitive perspective is the obtuse, right? The feminine perspective is the obtuse. It is the wider extension of an individual's ability to visualize a specific idealism that is greater or grandiose pertaining to the perpendicular, right? Now, the acute, in my perspective, is the logic, the logical vision, the logical plane, the logical perspective as it pertains to seeking first the kingdom of higher information, higher knowledge, higher self, thyself, in higher awareness of such, right? So these times we are in is going to require individuals to bring awareness to the idea that the many mansions, the chakra systems, the many mansions houses these frequencies that are rising and seeking first, or an individual, as we are rising, an individual has the ability to seek first throughout these individual houses that houses awareness pertaining to information, the chakra system. There's going to be a requirement that in terms of houses becoming mansions, there is going to be a requirement that we seek first in the kingdom of the mind, the head, the mind, the mental. And then that addition to the head, the top, the mental, is simply going to amplify and or multiply and or pertaining to multiples, multiplication, amplification, remember? You feel me? Now, I know that this may fly over a lot of people's head. Watch it twice. If my frequency gravitates towards you and or whomever may catch this vid, if my frequency makes sense to an individual, these times are going to call for individuals to see things from a perpendicular perspective, which means that there is many different levels of ideals pertaining to seeking and rising and gravitating towards higher information, higher wisdom, higher awareness, and higher knowledge, because the parallel plane and the parallel perspective is a run-on sentence. It is linear. It is plane. It is a one-dimensional existence. We are going to have to look beyond what is considered straight. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna not in that terminology, but we're gonna have to be able to look beyond what is within the individual visualization. We're going to have to peek beyond the veil of one linear perspective. We're gonna have to see things from different dimensions. Remember, obtuse and acute. We're going to have to see things from different perspectives. We're going to have to see things from a wider idea And we're going to have to look at things from the eyes of the logic perspective to balance out the logic and the intuition of situations and or ideas. So I just wanted to put that video out there as a perspective, because I laugh and I joke, but I do not play. You feel me? So yeah, that's that.